Welcome to Charlottesville, home of the University of Virginia and the Cavaliers, where around here they say learning never ends, and they hope to teach a lesson in this one. And boy, do we have a fun one ahead. Top 10 team, target on their back, going on their road and right into the snake pit. As we'll see, the number 10 team in the country, the Kentucky Wildcats, taking on a team from the ACC, the Virginia Cavaliers. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, joined here in the booth, as always, by David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. Guys, let's tee this. Cavaliers will get us started with the opening kickoff. He'll start the return inside his 5. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. So Kentucky's offense will get the first possession of the game. And here he comes, just jogging onto the field. But what's going fast, the heart rates of everybody in this crowd, Jesse.
Well, this is a special player. All eyes in the stadium on this guy. And David, you know the defense, they're going to have to find a way to try to slow this guy down.
And he's going to touch it every single play. He'll be the main focal point. Can he handle the pressure? Can he handle the big moments? Can he handle this stage and lead his team in a big moment?
Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. Didn't take long to need a clutch play on the opening drive. It's 3rd and 7. From the gun, wants to pass. Time to take a shot. It's complete. A huge pickup. Afterburners coming. And he ran away from the defense to take it in. Touchdown, Kentucky.
And how about him? Nice job catching the football and then turn it into a playmaker. Turn it into a small, wide receiver. The tight end shows off the ability to run after the catch, make a big play, and get the big touchdown.
They'll try to add another to their lead. And he's got the extra point, and it's 7-0 to start this one. Quick strike offense on that 3-play scoring drive. And they cap it off with a play that can build momentum, a 78-yard touchdown pass. On the run from inside his own 5. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. First down here for the offense. To the ground with the back. On the move at the 30. And they'll finally catch up to him, but not before a big chunk of yardage is picked up. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. Open the drive with a chunk play out past the 40, and they are in business on first down. He's going to pass. And there was nowhere to go for this quarterback, and down he goes.
And come on now, O-line. You got to take care of your quarterback. He takes care of you. He's the one who takes you to meals. He's the one that gets you those NIL deals. Everything happens through your quarterback. You got to keep him upright. That is your #1 priority.
Now the offense has to overcome the negative play after the defense comes up with a sack. On the ground with the counter. Solid fundamentals on that tackle from this freshman. Third down conversions are a huge stat, and this one would be a doozy if they can pull it off. Looking to throw, and he needs a bunch. And the freshman will chalk up a sack.
And how about the true freshman? We've heard about this guy. We heard he's got a chance to be really, really good. Talking with coaches this week, and he gets his first sack. Listen, guys, I'm a pass rusher. Everybody remembers their first sack.
And the Cavaliers will call on their punt team. Might have thought he'd want to try to pick up a few yards there, but he's content with making the fair catch right around the 35-yard line. Off the play fake on first down to throw. And they got him for the sack.
I think a big part of the formula to this team's success is their ability to get after the quarterback. In game one, they had 6 sacks and obviously won that football game. They know coming into this one today, they have got to be able to get after the quarterback, and they're off to a great start.
Looking deep down the right side. And the incomplete pass taking a shot on 2nd down, and they'll be left with a 3rd down. He's looking downfield to throw. Going back to the well, another deep ball. Another incompletion on 3rd down. Kentucky will be forced to punt. 3 and out and not much choice but to get rid of the ball. Makes the catch and now looking for just a little bit of daylight. The coverage team gets the job done and they'll mark him down at the 38-yard line. They'll try the run. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one. The Cavaliers want to pick up the tempo.
You know when you're playing against a defense of this caliber, you're going to have some sort of balance, right? You can't just drop back and throw it every single...
The freshman able to get home with the sack.
Man, this offense has been bad. How about the first play? Nowhere to go, nowhere to run, tackle for a loss. Second play, you get your quarterback sacked. And the third play, now we're sitting in 3rd and long, right where this defense wants to get us.
It'll take some work to get to the sticks. It's 3rd and long from the 30. Looking to throw, and he needs a chunk play. And this defense has maxed out this pressure. Another sack.
You know, when you go dime personnel package, you've got extra DBs in the game, so it's harder to throw if you're the quarterback. There's just not as many windows. They've got more guys in coverage. You're expecting to at least have a little bit more time, but your offensive line, man, they just couldn't hold up.
And the Cavaliers send out the punt unit. Doesn't say much for your drive when you're looking forward to the punt. A fair catch taken just inside the 40-yard line. Kentucky sends the offense back out onto the field. To the air on 1st down. Finds his tight end. And he'll make his way out of bounds after the solid pickup. Trying to get a rhythm in the passing game now on 2nd down. He'll ride his man on the option. He's dropped behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of 3. Here they come, facing 3rd and long from the 40. Looking to throw. Using the back as a receiver on the screen. Not a whole lot of room there on that screen pass as it just never developed. Kentucky sends out the punting unit. This will be the 2nd time they've had to kick it away. Hauls it in, looking for space. And they'll get him down after the return at the 27-yard line. And now this offense will take the field again. Wants to throw on 1st down off the play fake. Makes the grab on the left. Makes the grab, and he's dragged down. Still some work to do after that last completion at 2nd down. The give out of the gun. And he's tackled, but there's also a flag on the field. Let's see what the call is.
Hold it.
That penalty moves the ball back 10 yards. We'll replay the down. Line getting set on 2nd down. From the shotgun, the inside give. Barrels all the way to the 29, a gain of 6. The Cavaliers moving quickly to the line. On 3rd down, he'll try to pick it up through the air. And the freshman will chalk up a sack.
Well, this guy's become a bit of a problem for opposing offenses. In their last game, he had 2 sacks, and he's dominating again, getting his 1st sack in this game now. He right now is wrecking people's game plans, and this offense better find out how to slow him down.
And the Cavaliers will line up to punt it away. He's going to try to flip the field with this one. He will signal for the fair catch and take it just inside the 35. Kentucky has it back, and the big blue offense takes the field. Handoff from the gun. Still on his feet at the 45. They'll get him down, but not before he crosses the 50. He's down to the 49. They'll run this play from the pistol. One back in the backfield, and they'll give it to him.
You want to talk about making it easy for an offensive coordinator. You pick up a bunch of yards on first down, make that second down really, really manageable. That's a great job by the offense.
Trying play action. Throws toward the end zone. And good coverage there to knock it away and deny the score. This feels like 4-down territory, 3rd and short from the 40. They'll try to bully their way for the first. And he's knocked down, but not before moving the chains. The Wildcats have this offense rolling. Power football with the run. Smashes through. And a nice run there before the defense finally makes the stop. Good spot after that 7-yard pickup on first down. It's 2nd and 3. It's complete. And they knock him down, but he got past the line to gain. And the Wildcats have it with a 1st and 10. Now from inside the red zone. He makes the grab. That completion will take them inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. On this 1st and goal, let's see what Kentucky does. They'll try to get it in with the run. He bullies his way all the way down to the 5-yard line. 2nd and goal for the offense. They'll run the counter. And a good, solid pickup before the defense cuts him down. They've already squandered a couple of chances to score touchdowns in the red zone, and now another opportunity. It's 3rd and goal. And you can give all the credit to the crowd for that one. Offense, no chance, and call for the false start. And now after getting knocked back, they'll try it again, this time from the 5 on 3rd and goal. From the gun, wants to pass. Just threw that one away to avoid disaster. And now on 4th down, they'll try a field goal. And this one ought to be nice and easy, a 22-yard attempt. That is no good. And the margin remains at 7 after the minute.
Well, that's one the kicker would like to have back. That's a kick he should be making in his sleep.
Virginia sending its offense back onto the field. Line gets set, 1st down. Quarterback on the keeper. And the freshman does a great job using his technique and getting the man on the ground. The Cavaliers will hustle to the line. On 2nd down, just keeps firing. They'll throw it to the back on the screen. He's there to make the stop, and they threw it in reverse, losing yardage on that play. On 3rd and long, trying to have a big completion here. The freshman able to get home with the sack.
And if your job is to irritate, to confuse, to hit, to make quarterbacks feel very uncomfortable, this defense is definitely doing their job. 6 sacks. That's the way to make the quarterback feel like he's having a hard day. He's had no response. This offensive line has no response, just a sack party.
And the Cavaliers decide to punt it away. Fair catch is called for. You want to make sure that you field it cleanly in rainy weather like this. Kentucky sends the offense back out onto the field. Running back searching for a hole. And he doesn't find much running room, a short gain on the play. After the 3-yard pickup, they come to the line, 2nd and 7. Going with the counter play here. Tackled after picking up the 1st down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Leaves it with the back. And he found plenty of running room on that one before the defense was finally able to get him down.
First down for the offense.
Handoff to the single back. Not much of a gain there on the ground, and that will do it for the first quarter. Quarterback and running back set up in the pistol. How about these two running games so far? Dominance on the ground as we look at the first quarter stats. Lots of time left, and we're ready to get back to it and open the second period. He'll pull it on the read. Low man wins, and he just smashed him. Knocked down at the 25-yard line, picked up 10 there, and gets a first down. They'll try the right side.
And offenses want to continue to feature the run. They want balance. Even if it's not super successful, you can take it little bit at a time just to keep that defense honest.
Didn't get much on first down. It's 2nd and 9. Goes to the option. Quick toss. Got some room headed to the goal line. And he's loose, and he'll take it to the house. Touchdown, Kentucky!
And that's why it's so tough to stop an option offense in plays like this, because defensively you've got to be so good with your assignments. Someone needs the dive. Someone needs the quarterback. Who's got the pitch man? That time nobody on defense had the answer.
Lining up to tack one more onto that lead. And the extra point makes it 14-0. Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
Fellas, I think at least a portion of your audience will have an interest in the one that just finished up. Alabama rolled to victory, flexing an offensive muscle that almost reminded folks of the record-setting team led by Mac Jones, Najee Harris, and Devontae Smith.
From the gun, the running back tries to hit the hole.
It's one game. You don't want to react too much either way, but I think both teams will leave this one with some things to work on moving forward.
Kevin, thanks a lot for that one. Sounds as if they had a good one there. The Cavaliers get it past the sticks. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. They've got it 1st and 10 from the 25. He'll keep it himself. He breaks a tackle. Good call, good execution as they move the chains, and they have a first down at the 38. And the Cavaliers in the hurry-up.
Ooh, I like that option play. I'd keep running that, too, because it's obvious. The defense right now is really keying in.
And the freshman will chalk up a sack.
That is now the 7th sack on defense. This offense cannot protect their QB. It doesn't matter if the defense is blitzing or if they're just winning one-on-one. 7 sacks? That's just ridiculous.
They've already racked up big sack numbers. It's starting to snowball, and they are ready to go again. They move the tight end all over. He'll do it himself. And they make the tackle, but the official has tossed his flag.
Holding, offense.
They say you could call holding on every play. Well, they did on that one. Quarterback on the keeper. Crosses the 30. He's got away. They make the stop, but not before he takes a chunk out of what they need to move the sticks. Now, this offense is just stuck in the mud. They've already punted 4 times, and it's 3rd down, and the quarterback is snowed under.
The name of the game is protecting your quarterback. He can't have success or complete passes on his back. Let's get the quick passing game going, maybe hand the football off. But whatever we're doing, let's go the opposite direction.
The Cavaliers line up to punt it away. They've been busy out there to punt for the 5th time today. He'll get away another punt. He's been really active today, and no doubt he's going to earn his varsity letter. Tries to find a little more running room on that return, but he'll be stopped at the 36. Kentucky has it back, and the Big Blue offense takes the field. From the gun, the ground game. He's knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple. After getting knocked back to open this drive, it's 2nd and 12. On the option. Nowhere to run on that one. He loses 4 on the carry. And the running game has been going in the wrong direction. They'll try to get their first positive play of the drive here on 3rd down. Nice move to keep running. And sure, tackling there to keep him from getting to the 1st down marker. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. Kentucky will be forced to punt.
In punt formation to kick it away.
Solid punt, headed toward the sideline, trying to make it tough to return. Offense getting set for 1st down. The give to the right. Just sort of a relentless run, getting everything that was available to him, and they'll mark him down at the 40. From the gun, running back gets the give. A confident, tough, efficient run gets it up to the 44. And the Cavaliers racing to the line in the hurry-up. Trying to pick it up on the ground. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. The Cavaliers will bring the punt team onto the field. They're up to a half-dozen kicks today. No return coming. He'll call for the fair catch. A 1st down for the offense. Use the play fake. Now to throw. They're bringing heat. Just gets rid of the football. Nobody to throw it to. It'll be 2nd down. Couldn't make the connection last time. Let's see if they throw it again. It'll be a draw. He's knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple. You make up the game plan and not a lot on the play sheet for this. 3rd and long from inside their own 20. Trying to make magic with his feet. And he is corralled short of the line to gain. Kentucky sends out the punting unit. He only needs a sliver of daylight. He's brought down, but a really solid effort to pick up every bit of yardage he could on the punt return. Virginia has it back. The Cavalier offense headed to the field. He'll pull it on the read. Slips a tackle, and he's got room. And a decent gain there before the defense makes the stop. Offense, quick tempo. The play action fake. He lobs one high down the left side. Fires into traffic, intercepted. And he's wrapped up after a solid return on the pick.
Well, we know these are slick conditions today in this game. Wide receiver just didn't seem to really get a good grasp on the ball when it hit his hands. Didn't stick right away. There's a bit of a bobble, and because of it, the defense able to come away with the pick.
Opening play of this drive comes from the 34. They'll try the right side. Thrust that arm out. And not much doing there as that defense runs him out of bounds. Holding penalties, the ultimate drive killer. We'll see if it costs this offense here. They'll try the left side. Nice, solid form tackle from this sophomore. They'll line up for a 2nd down play. Now they'll run the draw. They bring him down, but a solid pickup to put them in position to pick up a 1st down. Now on 3rd down after that run. From the gun, wants to pass. Going downfield for the big play. And a big play on the left sideline. Excellent awareness to get that foot in bounds. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. Kentucky back at it with a fresh set of downs. Going up top on first down. They get to him as he throws. Hit hard just as he released it on first down and just couldn't get it to the receiver. On the option. He's dropped behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of 3. They run into a bit of trouble here. 3rd and long from the 25, and the last thing they want is to get knocked out of field goal range. Got the back over the middle. And he's not going to get there. The defense stands tall and makes the stop. And for the second time tonight, they'll trot out the field goal kicker. And it's right down the boulevard. And that lead grows even bigger.
That makes the score Kentucky 17, Virginia 0.
They keep pushing that lead out, and the kickoff team's getting some work. He'll bring it out. He's brought down at the 16. Would have been much better off to take the touchback. Virginia sending its offense back onto the field. They just haven't been able to get anything going, and they better get started or it's going to get away from them, David.
Yeah, and these are the weeks that you really wish that you were playing a video game. And you could just reset the console, start over, Jesse, and make something better happen early.
They just look like they're sleepwalking in this first half, and it's not just one guy. They just haven't been playing collectively as a unit. And if I'm the head coach, I'm considering starting to give some other dudes some chances here.
Looking to pass on second down. Unleashes one. He's open on the right. He will step out of bounds, but not before the big pickup and a first down for this offense.
Well, Reese, you and I were talking about this before the game. How is this defense going to be able to deal with all the speed they have offensively? You saw them just rip off a big play.
And Jesse, now their head's spinning just a little bit. A shot toward the end zone. And swatted down by the defense to stop the scoring opportunity. This offense has a second down play. The give to the back. He rumbles ahead for 6 inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. And the Cavaliers headed quickly to the line. Snap from the gun on third down. Fires into traffic, picked off. Going the other way, and he's got room. And the return man just kept finding alleys to run in, and he gets it to the 46-yard line.
And that's the advantage right there of having your dime personnel on the field. You've got an extra DB. You've got an extra guy out there who's really good at covering. So for quarterbacks, you've got to be so good and precise with these passes because they've got speed in the back end. They're able to come away with the pick.
Kentucky sends the offense back out onto the field. He'll keep it himself. He'll take 4 yards on first down every time, 2nd and 6.
Gain of 4. Brings up 2nd down.
Now the play fake. He's going to let one fly down the middle. And it's incomplete after taking a shot on 2nd down. They're staring at 3rd. From the gun, wants to pass. Looking to the big tight end. Got him downfield. That is exactly what you're looking for when you talk explosive plays. The defense finally able to make the stop. They've moved to the 16. It's 1st and 10. He's looking to throw it. He's got it down the middle. And a good job in coverage there as they stop it after just a few. Going to work in the red zone, they can't pick up the first down without getting it into the end zone. The aerial assault continues. The freshman able to get home with the sack.
And really good job getting to the quarterback. That's priority number one, trying to get pressure on him. Get him to the ground is a bonus. They had 6 sacks in their last game. They got to keep building on that number if they want to keep stacking wins.
Facing 3rd and long from the 21 and hoping not to settle for a field goal. Looking downfield, and he needs a bunch. Finds his back in the middle. And he's not going to make it. The defense denying him the first down. It's wise not to be too greedy, and they'll go ahead and send out the field goal unit. They've decided to try to go for the field goal here. Smashes it between the uprights. And now the lead is extended a little further. And for a quick update, let's go to Kevin Connors in the studio.
All right, guys, want to update you on a game that went final moments ago. Toledo was relentless today in a road win that frankly wasn't even as close as the final score indicates. This was a vintage Rockets performance, one that really should instill confidence within this program. A lot to go through in the film session this week for both teams, but boy, it sure is going to be easier for the side that came away with the win.
And Kevin Connors keeping an eye on everything all over the country. Sounds like they had a good one there. Virginia has it back. The Cavalier offense headed to the field. They've got nothing done so far, and they already find themselves in a 3-possession hole, Jesse.
Yeah, and as a head coach, you're wondering, what didn't I say? What didn't I do to get my team ready to go? Because we look like we're sleepwalking at this point.
Yeah, nothing went well in the first quarter. You just say refresh. Like, let's try to find a way now, chip into this lead, try to make it somewhat manageable when you get to the half.
They'll throw it on first down. Lost one deep down the right side. And it falls incomplete, but that could have been disastrous. The defender was right there. 4 wide out set, 3 of them to the left on 2nd and 10. Shoots it to the left. Nearly picked off there, and he might be the last guy on the field you'd expect to drop that one. It'll be 3rd down. From the gun, wants to pass. And the freshman will chalk up a sack. Timeout called by the defense. It's their first of the half as they'll go to the sideline and try to make adjustments. The Cavaliers will try to pin them back with the punt. He'll try to really get into this one. Fair catch called for and made. Offense set on first down. They're going to open this drive with a pass. That's caught. It's Thomas.
Well, we knew coming into this game, this offense was going to try and get this receiver involved and get him involved early. So here they are just finding an easy completion. It's not a touchdown, but they just want to get this guy lathered up and get him into a run.
Here comes the offense on 1st and 10 from the 47. Looking to move it through the air. Fires to the middle. Incomplete. He had it right in his hands for the pick, and I believe he might have been thinking about those big plays he's known for. Instead, it'll be 2nd down. They're trying to get to it. Nothing doing downfield. He'll cut his losses and throw it away. It'll be 3rd down. They line up, and it is a long way to the sticks from here. On 3rd down, he drops to throw. They've got the play bottled up. Fumble, it's out. Oh, looks as if the defense got it. And he's brought down, and this defense gets the ball back for its own.
Fumbles are great when you force them, and you're always thinking about as a defensive player, man, when the weather conditions start to come down, it starts to rain, and you know that ball's a little bit slick, and you know more runs are coming. You really try to get to that football. Nice job getting the football out, falling on top of it, forcing the turnover.
Virginia sending its offense back onto the field. Boy, they've been caught in a buzzsaw here in the first half, but and the quarterback was trying to extend the play, and the defense brought it to a close. A timeout is called as this offense tries to find a way to get more points on the board before the half. Feeling some heat. Just had to get rid of that one. Good job to avoid the loss. 3rd and long from the 42. If they can get some of it, it might give them a chance to go for it on 4th down. Dances away from the D. And he broke one tackle on the way to a solid pickup there.
Number 12 in punt formation to kick it away.
He'll call for the fair catch here. First half in the books. Time now to join Kevin Connors in our halftime update.
All right, guys, looks like we've got a great atmosphere today in Charlottesville. Talk about a first half from that dude out of the backfield. He's been a total game changer. And how many top plays moments have we seen on missed tackles alone? Video game moves from one of the shiftiest players in all of college football. And with that, let's send it back to the guys at the Carl Smith Center and Scott Stadium.
Kentucky will boot it deep to get the second half underway. From inside the 10, here he comes. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, but they get him on the ground at the 20. Virginia has it back. The Cavalier offense headed to the field. When you're facing a deficit like this one to start the second half, you really can't afford to waste a single possession.
Fresh start here in the second half. That's the only way you can look at this if you're on offense. Things did not go your way there in the first half. It starts with one play. To get our confidence going, we just got to get something going early here on this drive.
One play, stay aggressive. Now I think I can be even more aggressive on fourth downs because obviously I've built a deficit. My defense has got to make some plays for me too.
Out of the gun, the running back has it. He got a bunch and looked close to getting a lot more, but he's got the first down. And the Cavaliers come to the line in the hurry-up. Out of the shotgun, they go to the ground. And he'll find enough running room to get it just short of midfield at the 49. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. Twin receivers on both sides of the field. It's 2nd and 4. He's got it on the right. They get him on the ground after he gets enough to move the sticks. Here's an opportunity for this offense in search of its first touchdown. It's 1st and 10. Use the play fake, now to throw. And the defense will corral the quarterback, and down he goes at midfield.
As a defensive end, trust me, I was a defensive end, I can tell you, you start getting a little lathered up. Now you got your second sack. It's only the third quarter. Your eyeballs are getting big. This is going to be one of those days. I'm going to get me 3. I'm going to get me 4. Shoot, I might even get me 5.
That offense having to deal with the last thing you want on first down, giving up a sack as they come up to the line on 2nd down. He'll do it himself. Solid fundamentals on that tackle from this freshman. 3rd down, and this offense is already in a world of trouble. They could really use a conversion, not to mention multiple scores. They'll run the screen. They play that screen nicely. He tried to find his way to the marker, but it'll be 4th down. The Cavaliers will send out the punt unit. And the return man will have no chance as the ball sails out of bounds. Kentucky has it back, and the big blue offense takes the field. They put it on the ground last time they had it. Got to take care of it this time, David.
And I think you've got to put in context. A lot of times fumbles are just luck. You just got to move on, give him the football again, Jesse, and not worry about it.
I think that's a good point there, David. Get him the ball again to help him play the next play and know that he's okay. Because when that guy's playing well, this offense is on fire.
Makes the catch and knocked down. Picked up some yardage with that completion. Now 2nd down. Off play action. Makes the catch and he's brought down. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. Just shy of midfield at the 47. The defense needs a 3rd down stop. They'll try to get the first through the air. Oh, they really could have used that catch there. Physical pass defense. It brings up a 4th down. Kentucky will be forced to punt. A fairly short distance here toward the sidelines, not his best work. Virginia sending its offense back onto the field. Quarterback on the keeper. Not a whole lot of progress made there on the short run. And the Cavaliers want to crank the tempo. He'll pull it on the read. And the defense snows him under after a very short gain. A 3rd and long coming up here. From the gun, wants to pass. Looking down the middle. Finds the big tight end. And chunk plays are the name of the game, and they get one here before the defense finally makes the stop. Off the play fake on 1st down to throw. And he can't escape, and down he goes.
The defense is just killing it. Success after success after success. If I'm the offense, I got to change something up, or my quarterback's going to be forced to change because he's going to be in the injury tent.
They'll try to keep that sack from wrecking this drive here on 2nd and 15. They'll run play action. And here comes the pressure, and there he goes down again.
Well, we've seen this offense struggle early in this game, protecting the quarterback. They went in at halftime, thought they'd made the right adjustments, but it's not looking like it right now. They're still having issues keeping this guy standing up straight. Up front, they're just getting beat across the board.
This is a 3rd and long. Looking to throw, and he needs a bunch. And it's incomplete on 3rd down. The Cavaliers will send out the punt unit.
On to kick it away.
Here's the fair catch, and he'll make it close to the 20-yard line. Kentucky sends the offense back out onto the field. Looking for a huge play. And they can't make the connection, going for a big play on 1st down. After missing the connection last time, it's 2nd and 10 from the 22. After the incompletion, back to the passing game. He makes the catch. They stay aggressive and push their way out to the 33, and it's 1st down. Use the play fake, now to throw. Coming after it. Couldn't find anybody to throw to. He'll just toss it away. It'll be 2nd down. Couldn't make the connection last time. Let's see if they throw it again. He'll keep it himself. They could have used a little bit more there. Pick up a 3. It's 3rd and 7. If they can convert here, that type of play can really give you a shot of momentum. Going to try to pop one on the screen. And another big game for this offense. They are putting explosive pass after explosive pass up in this one. The execution on that screen pass is one that will go in a coaching clinic.
Nice execution on the screen. Allow the rush to come upfield. Now I release, get the ball to the running back. I got my playmaker in space. Nice chunk yardage play right there by the offense.
This Kentucky offense really moving the ball quickly. Movement here from the tight end. Off the play fake on 1st down, wants to throw. Got his man all by himself. He's run out of bounds, but a big play on that one, and it'll be a 1st down. He wants to throw. Flips it out to the back. Can't get him to the ground. And he didn't have a whole lot of operating room after the juke. Not much room to run. Kentucky trying to get a little scratch in the red zone. Off the play fake. He's got the tight end. And the defense had that one well covered. Just a short gain there. They need 1 yard on 3rd down to keep this one going. This will be the 8th play of the drive. The offense showing motion from the tight end, trying to get a read on the D. They're going to try to throw for it on third down. Zings it complete to the right. Finally run out of bounds, but he has this offense rolling with a first down. Defense is backed up. Shadow of the goalpost trying to defend their own end zone.
Kentucky.
False start.
So the decision has been made, and the coach will take the penalty. Kentucky will come to the line with a first and goal. He leaves it with the back. He pushes his way down to the 4 as they get closer and closer. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. They've pushed it ahead to the 4. They'll try to cash in on second and goal. They'll run the option. And he never had a chance to get the pitch off on the option as he's tackled in the backfield. That brings us to third and goal from the 6 after they went backwards on the last one. Getting some heat. Couldn't find anybody open, just threw it away, and that's a smart move. You want to avoid the turnover, especially in the red zone. It'll be fourth down. Never a doubt. And they'll push that lead out a little further. And let's check in with Kevin Connors in the studio. Kevin?
Two very different emotions inside the locker rooms of these teams who did battle today. Northwestern was able to come away with the win, as they have in Evanston so many times before, but not without a few bumps along the way. Man, nothing in college football is easy. 60 minutes of football and a convincing outcome, and certainly a game with implications far beyond just the standings, fellas.
Yeah, how about that? Sounds as if they had a good ball game there, Kevin. Thanks for the update. Couldn't find a way to create that broken field as he stopped at the 25. Virginia has it back. The Cavalier offense headed to the field. Working that left side now. Let's see what they've got on second down. He'll do it himself. Really nice job to squirt his way up to the 31-yard line. And this offense just has to find a way to convert this third down, or else they are really in trouble. The freshman able to get home with the sack.
Well, this defense has been dominating their opponent all game long, and I think you're really seeing the fruits of their labor on the recruiting trail. They have got some dudes up front, out of high school, in the portal, and those guys are just wreaking havoc on this offensive line.
And the Cavaliers will punt this one away. They'll look to pin them deep. Might have thought he'd want to try to pick up a few yards there, but he's content with making the fair catch right around the 35-yard line. The option look. Now the pitch. He's run out of bounds, but not before. Turning in a big pickup and moving the sticks for a first down.
That's a first down for the offense.
Out of the gun, the inside give.
Well, this offense came into the game knowing they wanted to be physical, they wanted to establish the line of scrimmage, and they're running downhill right at this defense, and they're churning out positive yardage early.
He's really close to that first down marker, but they stop him just a bit short. How aggressive might this play call be on 3rd and short from the 46? A little too anxious along that offensive line. That'll be a false start. The officials offer the deal, and the coach accepts it. They will take the penalty. 3rd and long, and he'll try to throw for it. Trying to escape and get it himself. And the ball's on the ground. They recover their own fumble. Somehow, who knows how they got that thing back. Comes out throwing on first down. And they get him on the ground, and that'll probably do it for the 3rd quarter. Now on 2nd down. If you like old school running games, this has been the game for you and a couple of guys who starred through the first 3 periods. Just about ready to go in the 4th, and we'll see if any drama can be mustered. Offense gets set for 2nd down. They go to the ground. Knocked down at the 35 after a pickup of 3. 3rd and short here from the 35. Might take a shot here if this is 4-down territory. They'll try to pick up the first through the air. Fires to the tight end. He gets it so close to the first down marker, but I think he's going to be a touch short. His field goal unit getting some serious run. They've already been out there 3 times. The kicker will try it again. It's good. And now the lead is even bigger.
Kentucky, 26. Virginia, 0.
They're really starting to extend that lead as they get ready to kick it away again. And no chance at a return. Here they'll start this drive at their own 25. Virginia sending its offense back onto the field. They'll crank up this drive with the pass. And the freshman will chalk up a sack.
And they get him again. This has not been the day we expected. This young man, we expect great things. Like, he is one of the better players in college football. You think he'd come out, put on a show, but this defense has had his number all game long.
And they are looking for a ball play that'll work. Now facing 2nd and long from the 19. He's looking to throw. And the defense gets loose, bringing the heat, and down he goes again.
Man, you could tell this offense is frustrated, giving up another sack, and they're out of sync, out of sorts. They're just not used to this. This trigger man's usually good. This offense is usually good. They've had a day they would love to forget.
Not exactly the ideal situation for this offense. 3rd and long, backed up inside their 20. He's looking downfield to throw. And this defense goes back-to-back sack, Jack.
Man, and the defense comes up with the sack. And this is the day. This is honestly not what we expected. We expected this to be a high-flying offense. You know, this trigger man is usually really, really on top of things. This is a day he would love to forget.
The Cavaliers will punt it away on 4th down. 3 and out, they got stuck in reverse. They hope the punt can bail them out. He gets it away from his own end zone. Smacks it with the stiff arm. Excellent coverage that time. Didn't give him any room to set up a big return. Kentucky has it back, and the big blue offense takes the field. A 7-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 3. Went to the running game on 1st down. Now here they come again. He's got it again. And the Wildcats pick up the 1st down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs.
And that's a 1st down for the offense.
Wants to throw on 1st down. Fires toward the end zone. And that one's incomplete. Worth taking a shot there, but couldn't hook up. 2nd and 10 after the previous play. He's looking to throw. It's complete to the right. And they'll shove him out of bounds after the short gain. Here they come up to the 23-yard line, not thinking field goal, wanting to convert this 3rd and short. Quick strike complete. They get him on the ground, but not before he gets enough for the 1st down. This Kentucky offense doing work. They're set up with another 1st down. He's going to pass. Pocket starts to collapse. And the ball comes out. What a disastrous play. How about that alert play from the defense to scoop it up? Inside the 30. He's at the 10. Touchdown, Virginia. And the defense doing work. What a play by the defense there. Loose football, country fumble, pick it up with room, scoop and score.
No doubt, country versus city. When it's a country fumble, nobody around. I got to pick that puppy up and do some damage with it. Nice job seeing the situation, scooping it up, making a play.
Ready to try the point after.
On for the extra point.
Splits the uprights. That is a defensive player's dream. Ball sitting there, chance to scoop it up, run with it, and they don't stop you until the band starts playing. From inside his own 15, let's see how far he can get. Able to find enough room to get it out across the 25. He's brought down at the 26. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. Kentucky sends the offense back out onto the field. They'll leave it with him. Defense in the right spot. They stop him after a gain of 2 to the 28. After picking up a couple at 2nd and 8. They'll give it to the back. They get him stopped at the 32. That's a gain of 4. Faced with a 3rd and short from their own 32 to keep this drive alive. Trying play action. Pressure coming. And this sophomore able to wreak some havoc and get the sack.
When it's a play-action pass, that quarterback, he really has to sell the fake. He can't tell his offensive lineman's getting beat right away while he's selling the fake. He had no shot.
Kentucky sends out the punting unit. And these guys have been busy. 6th punt of the day. He'll try to field the punt and see if he can give his offense better field position. This guy is a daring punt return man. He's not going to settle for the fair catch. A solid return. Gets a little bit of ground for the offense. Trying to find his man on 1st down. He's going for a big play downfield. Wide open, he makes the catch. And he just kept running, and he ran away from the crowd, and he'll take it in. Touchdown, Cavaliers!
Man, tight ends do so much for your offense. They block like crazy. You pull them, you use them all over the place. And when you got a guy that can do this, it's just the cherry on top of the sundae, making big plays, going half the field plus to get the big touchdown.
PAT unit on the field. Bangs it through for an extra point. We check in with Kevin Connors. What's going on, Kevin?
Guys, right back to your game after we update the nation on this one. Wake Forest put one in the win column in convincing fashion. The Deacs had 0 issue moving the ball, and that defense held strong in key moments. Talk about a complete performance. The circle of life in college football, where one team moves on feeling like kings, and the other heads home licking its wounds.
Kevin, thanks a lot for that one. Sounds as if they had a good one there. Trying to make that rush think on the draw play here. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one. This defense has kept them backed up. Now one more stop, and they can get off the field on 3rd and long. Trying to get to him. And the defense makes a play, sacking him back at the 10.
Well, this offensive line has got to do a better job. They've now given up way too many sacks. This poor quarterback is running for his life. They've got to shore up and do a better job on the offensive line.
Kentucky will be forced to punt. 3 and out and not much choice but to get rid of the ball. So from his own end zone, the punt is away. Makes the catch right at the 50. And the returner will be brought down. Virginia has it back. The Cavalier offense headed to the field. Boy, that last touchdown, the one-play quick strike scored. Jesse, this offense hoping to keep that kind of explosiveness going.
And I don't know if they're going to get the same looks defensively because of just how explosive that play was, Reese. David, they may be seeing a little bit more off coverage on this drive and maybe some softer boxes to run into.
And when you make that kind of explosive play, you're going to put the defense on the team. They're going to be a little bit more conservative. So this offensive approach now, maybe I don't have to go deep. I can go a little bit shorter and just make those easy plays underneath.
Muscling ahead on 3rd and short. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play. They'll go with the running game on 4th down here. They stop him short of the marker, and they'll turn it over on down. The offense lining up for a first down play. Looking for a physical attack from the gun. He's knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple. After getting knocked back to open this drive, it's 2nd and 12. They'll run the option. Now the pitch. And the freshman does a great job using his technique and getting the man on the ground. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. They've got some work to do on this 3rd and long from the 40. Pulls it on the bootleg fake. They're bringing heat. The freshman able to get home with the sack.
Man, how about the offense, man? You run a little play action. I can just tell you, 3rd and long, as a pass rusher, I'm going to get the quarterback. I don't care about the play action. I'm not biting on it, and neither did the defense.
4th down, and the punt team sends it the other way. Books it all the way in, and now turns his attention upfield. That nifty return sets up the offense and negates some of the yardage on the punt. And the physical play there forces the incompletion on 1st down. After the misfire, it's 2nd and 10. He's looking to throw. It's complete to the left. He's brought down quickly. Minimal gain there, still a bit short of the 1st down. Shotgun snap on 3rd down. Blasted as he lets it go. He took a hit as he threw it and couldn't deliver the football. It's incomplete, and 4th down's coming. He'll try to throw and pick up the 1st down. Makes the grab well past the sticks. Finally pulled down, but not before moving the chains for a 1st down.
Well, down 2 possessions. Good news is you get the completion. Bad news, though, did not get out of it.
And this sophomore able to wreak some havoc and get the sack. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. They'll go empty and 5 wide on 2nd and 13. Back to throw, it's Hood. Fires to the right. Pulls it in. Hit the afterburners, kid. He was smelling that end zone, but they get him down at the 4 after the big pass play. And the Cavaliers are in the hurry-up. Here's the snap, looking to throw. And makes the grab in the end zone. Touchdown, Virginia! That big score makes the end of this game very interesting.
No doubt the offense got what they need. More work to do, but you had to get this part accomplished first.
Lining up for the PAT. And the PAT will draw them 1 point closer. They put together a 65-yard drive for the score. And they cap the drive with a 4-yard touchdown pass. From inside his own 10, he'll try to help out their field position. And they'll haul down the returner to start us on the next drive. Kentucky has it back, and the big blue offense takes the field. Can't find his man as he took a shot trying to deliver that football, and it'll be 2nd down. They want that clock to run. At the 35, he's got room. He'll move it up to the 37-yard line, and it'll be a 1st down. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. They've got it at the 37. It's 1st and 10. Might as well run him until they stop him. He's got it again. And the defense makes the stop after a minimal gain. 2nd down here, and maybe they've got time to get one more snap off before the 2-minute warning. We have arrived at the 2-minute warning, a 1-possession game as this offense tries to hold on. The give to the tailback. He's dropped behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of 3.
And not a surprise by this offense, right? This is a game management type situation. I want to run the football. I want to run the clock. The clock is my friend with the lead. late in the fourth quarter, inside of a minute, I'm going to keep this ground game going and make you have to look at that clock continue to tick.
Defense uses a timeout quickly, trying to get that ball back and preserve time for their offense. Fourth down, and the punt team sends it the other way. Pretty solid coverage there, and they'll stop him at the 26. Here comes the offense on first down. He's looking to throw it. Steps away. At the 40, there he goes. And he gets out of there and gets some yardage and gets down without taking any punishment. They'll throw it on first down. Now adjusting. Trying to make magic on the scramble. On the run, and he'll slide to avoid the hit. A nifty pickup there. Clock's running, and they'll try to get to the line warp speed for second down. He's looking to throw. Unloads to the wideout. And here's the third interception of the night. Oh, he was hoping to make something out of that return, but they'll have it first down at the 39.
Well, we've seen this defense make plays time and time again in this game. They may have just sealed it with that takeaway.
The offense set for a first down play. And the quarterback takes the snap and kneels down. Winning can become a habit. Now they've won back-to-back games and probably building a little confidence.
And you want it to be a habit. That's what you talk about as a coach week after week. Let's build. Let's create momentum and continue to build on it. And then you look up at the end of the season, you never know where you could be, what dreams you could bring to reality.
At the end of the day, I think good teams find ways to win games. And over these last two games, it hasn't always been easy. They've had to overcome some adversity, but at the end of the day, they were able to step up, make the plays necessary, and do that. Very, very impressive.
That's going to do it for us from here. For Jesse Palmer, David Pollack, I'm Reese Davis, and this has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.